What is going on? I am Nick Fuquay.
Mark Shrahan. I'm back.
Yes. Welcome back. Yeah, you're so lively tonight. This is Lawrence Alfred coming back. If you noticed last week, Lawrence was out due to injury. He was on the injured reserve. He was on the shelf because a couple weeks ago, we wish we could just flash you a little clip here. That would be nice.
Yeah, you just want to flash it all over the place, huh?
Well, a couple weeks ago, we had our Acadian champ, the Gulf South Extreme champion, Rhett the Threat on the show.
And respectful champion.
Well, everybody has their opinions, folks. And if you want to give your opinion tonight, it is 366-8951, I believe.
Yep.
And that number will pop up on the screen, I imagine, here, momentarily. But, yes, tell us about it. We spoke to you last week on the phone.
Right.
And you had your lawyer with you, which, was he able to make it tonight? He had some big words and said he was going to be here.
Well, according to my lawyer.
Okay.
You guys are beneath him.
Okay. Well, he wasn't very entertained by our show.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go again. Here we go again with you two. I mean, it's been back and forth for the last few weeks.
Yes.
And this all started, back at Hell Frozen Over.
You couldn't do it yourself.
Well, this all started back at MSX Hell Frozen Over. That was the one that you were commentating.
Took my job.
And then eventually, the next 100% Chance of Pain.
I took his job.
Well,
why don't you go to the promoter and tell him that? That's the guy you need to be talking to.
Well, and apparently that was the choice of the people in charge. But you did backstage commentary. You were the cameraman around the ring. Folks, stay tuned because here in the next few weeks, we've been in touch with Billy Boudreaux, who is the voice of GSX.
That's right.
And he is going to get some footage ready for us, and we are going to be airing some of the matches from those pay-per-views.
Right.
So you can get to know some of the local talent that we have,
And who's respectful and who's not respectful.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
Yes.
So, yes, indeed. Alrighty. Sports entertainment tonight, live, Wednesdays. Call in. It's 366-8951. We've got a big show tonight because it is about the biggest week in wrestling.
WrestleMania week.
WrestleMania!
One thing that even this guy and I could agree on. It's the biggest week in wrestling this year.
Right.
So.
Which... not only is it a big week because of WrestleMania, but it's also a big week because it's my birthday week, So this has been kind of an ongoing thing, So it is a celebration, folks. Not only is it a WrestleMania celebration, but it is a sports entertainment tonight, Nick Fuquay birthday celebration tonight here on Sports Entertainment Tonight. Yay. So I believe we might have some confetti and balloons available for the audience.
You gotta count down to 5.
And a 5, a 4, a 3, a 2. Woo! All right, that's fun stuff. That was. It was kind of like graffiti, confetti. I don't know what that was really, but it was close enough.
Well, I guess everybody deserves to have their day, so happy birthday.
Oh, it's not for a couple more days. It's actually the day before WrestleMania.
Hall of Fame night.
Yeah, Hall of Fame night. Yes, indeed. So, oh yeah, brother. Oh, we've got to wire this caller. Let's go ahead and take that call. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Hello, this is Sports Entertainment Tonight. What can I do for you?
Hey, are you guys going to be giving away tickets to SmackDown?
To SmackDown?
Yeah.
When is SmackDown happening?
SmackDown is June 9th. Tickets go on sale 10 o'clock this Friday.
Oh, really? In the Cajun Dome?
At the Cajun Dome.
Cajun Dome.
This is all news to me. Actually, I did not hear about this. But that might be a possibility. You just gave us a good idea to
He's
where...
working on it.
Yeah, we're working on it. We're working on it. We might have a little promotion, so stay tuned here in the next couple weeks.
Yes.
Whoa!
Also, I heard earlier about the local talent that you guys had said something
Yeah, the Gulf South Extreme Wrestling.
Or
Where
Mid-South
is it
Extreme.
located at?
Mid-South Extreme, excuse me.
Yeah. It's in Elton, Louisiana. It's right before you get to Kinder. It's a little Indian reservation.
Which actually they have been talking about doing some Lafayette shows. They also,
Awesome. Where at?
we do not know at this point.
At this
But
point,
as
what
soon
we
as we
do
find
know
out,
is
we will be
they're
broadcasting. it.
negotiating things.
Cool.
It's-
Also, do you guys have a Facebook page?
Yes, we do, and it's Sports Entertainment Tonight. You can like us, follow
Yep.
us. You can also find us on YouTube. You just simply go to YouTube, type in the search engine AOC Lafayette, and look under videos, and you'll see all of Sports Entertainment Tonight's videos. Which we got more views than everybody else on there. Hate to say, but we fabulous, right? So, what's your name, man? We all we get on here is wireless caller. So. I'm sorry, one more time?
Josh.
Josh,
All right.
it's a pleasure having you on the show, man. Is this your first time watching?
Yeah, it is, actually.
Okay, awesome, dude. Well, you a big wrestling fan? You excited about Sunday?
Me and my girlfriend are both.
Whoa.
Sweet.
Awesome, man. Well, what match are you looking forward to the most on Sunday?
Bray Wyatt versus Undertaker.
Who's your pick?
Undertaker.
Ah.
Okay, so he's got to redeem himself after last year.
Yeah. And my girlfriend's looking forward to Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns because she has a huge crush on Roman.
Oh,
She's
wow.
part of the Roman Empire.
The Roman
Yeah.
Empire, huh? Were you two at WrestleMania last year in New Orleans?
No, but we watched it at my friend's house.
Okay, awesome, man. Which, if we were going to talk tonight about your favorite WrestleMania moments. So, just in past WrestleManias, do you have any kind of favorite WrestleMania moment that you can kind of refer to?
I have no clue. What about you, Beth? Shawn Michaels versus Undertaker.
Ooh, many people say that was the best match of all time at WrestleMania 25.
I like the Hell in a Cell match that Triple H and Undertaker had. That was good.
Which that was the end of the era match, which of course, didn't really end the era too much because Triple H and Undertaker are still wrestling, that this year's WrestleMania.
I guess it meant that's the end of the people of that era probably wrestling each other. I don't know.
Right, or the end of the
What do you guys
PG.
think about Brock Lesnar taking the streak last year?
I think it should have been somebody else. Like Bray Wyatt should have done it.
Yeah, I
This
think
year.
it should have been Bray Wyatt also.
Yeah, passing the torch.
Well, I understand why they did it. I don't understand, but I understand because Brock looks like he's a legit threat toward anything. Bray Wyatt still has work to do to get there, I believe.
Right.
But Brock is a beast. He beats everybody. He runs through everybody. Now, the only reason I didn't like the fact that Brock won was because I don't think he actually respects the sport like people claim he does. Like we saw at WrestleMania 20, the whole situation with that. And now we have this thing with him re-signing now. He re-signed with WWE, but did he really back them into a corner? Because I always thought he wasn't going back to UFC. He can't handle that kind of.
Well, apparently it was a very lucrative deal.
So-
But actually, in my opinion, I think that the WWE kind of got themselves in a pickle in that they did such an awesome job in putting Brock Lesnar over as a monster heel, that unbeatable heel, that it's almost. You can't believe Roman Reigns is going to beat him. And for Roman Reigns to beat him is going to piss the fans off, just because you're insulting our intelligence.
The Hell in a Cell, he's going to tie CM Punk's record as champ.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. Well, I didn't hear about that, but well, that's
I read it
awesome.
on YouTube. I read it on Facebook.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, and we kind of stay tuned to all the kind of stuff like that.
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome, man. Well, Josh, it's been good having you on the show, man. You got anything else for us?
No, that's about it.
Okay, awesome, dude. Well, yeah, please call in, tune in
Yeah,
again.
thank you so much for calling in.
I will. Thank you.
Awesome. Have a good night, man.
Night.
Well, how about that? Our first caller of the night. And yes,
Great.
and if you'd like to call in, we've got 366-8951. the topic of the night really is WrestleMania. So what match are you looking forward to the most this weekend? And what is your favorite WrestleMania moment of all time? And so before we even get started about talking about WrestleMania 31, which is coming up this weekend, let's talk about our favorite WrestleMania moments. So, Mark, why don't you go ahead and get us started off as far as are some of your favorite WrestleMania moments?
I got to name a bunch of them.
I mean, a few, just the ones that are on top of your head.
I guess like the saga of Pete Rose and Kane. Tombstone and Pete Rose.
Which that went over a couple WrestleManias.
Yeah, 3. My favorite is probably like the WrestleMania 10. The HBK against Razor Ramon. Bret Hart against Owen Hart.
The ladder match, the first ever ladder match at WrestleMania.
Yeah, Owen Hart against Bret Hart. What else?
Which actually Bret Hart went on to face Yokozuna later on that night.
Yeah, pretty impressive. And I think one of my favorites, I wasn't born. I was just born a few months later. Randy Savage against Ricky Steamboat, one of the best.
Aha, at WrestleMania 3. Stole the show, Randy Savage. Oh, yeah, brother, going in the Hall of Fame.
Another caller.
Oh, another caller, which I even turned the volume up. What's up with this? Oh, ringer volume. There it is. Oh, well, we just missed you, so call back.
Yeah, call back.
For some reason, the ringer volume. There it is. Hey.
Yep.
Are you there? Alrighty. Hello, this is Sports Entertainment Tonight. Welcome to the show.
Yes.
You there? Did we miss you again? Oh, well, sorry. I guess we got disconnected somehow. I guess call back, We had some kind of confusion there. I had to turn the ringer volume up. But getting back to our topic, and if you want to call back, go ahead. But, is that pretty much your top ones that you got off the top of your head?
I think so.
Okay, Lawrence, what about you, man?
All right.
You've had time to think about it here for a second. I put Mark on the spot.
Yeah.
Now, I have it in different categories, okay?
Okay.
Favorite WrestleMania build-up, as far as epic.
Which we will talk about WrestleMania build-up.
Well, as far as setting the pace for WrestleMania, Hulk Hogan, Andre the Giant.
Okay.
Great build-up. Great build-up.
Greatest WrestleMania match, Randy Savage, Ricky Steamboat.
Yeah.
As Mark said, yes.
Now, my greatest moment.
You two actually agree on something.
My greatest moment.
Greatest moment.
And when I'm talking about match, is watching Hulk Hogan, The Rock, and Stone Cold in the ring at the same time.
Ooh.
At WrestleMania.
WrestleMania
person
30.
too.
Yes. In person, it was
and the
awesome.
reason why it was big is because 3 poster boys in the ring at the same time.
Changed pretty much the industry.
All right.
Doing,
It was awesome. And 75,000 people were saying, this is awesome.
so it was just one of those things. Watching.
Were you at WrestleMania last
I
year,
was
Lawrence?
at WrestleMania
Great.
last year.
Great. So we were all at WrestleMania. That's
Yeah.
good to know.
There's difference.
And I would like to think that we are all going to be at WrestleMania next year in Dallas.
I plan on being in Dallas.
I plan on being in Dallas as well.
Yeah.
Do you plan on being in Dallas?
Yeah.
Yes. Do you plan on being in Dallas in there, Dozer? Yes, I believe we all plan on being in Dallas next year, which we'll all be in the number. I mean, I imagine they're going to have over 100,000 people at
Goal is to
WrestleMania,
set the new indoor attendance record.
which was previously set by the NBA All-Star Game, correct?
Right. Which,
I think so.
yeah, but for over 20-something years, it was
It was
WrestleMania 3.
WrestleMania 3. Okay, so we're getting our caller back.
Yes.
Let's see if we can get it correct this time. So I'm pressing speaker here. Hello, this is Sports
Hello.
Entertainment Tonight. You are live on air. What you
Yes.
got?
Yes, sir. I was wanting to call you and ask you, who's going to win the match, either Brock Lesnar or Roman Reigns this Sunday at WrestleMania?
Ooh, well, I'm sure we all kind of have our opinions on that, and we all kind of have our predictions and speculation on that. Mark, you want to go ahead and get us started
I'll
on
do
that,
an
buddy?
expression. Can I do my little expression?
Please
My
do.
little Brock Lesnar.
You have to do it. You have
Yeah.
to do it. Okay. So you think Brock Lesnar is going to take
Yep.
it? Okay. And do you think that the fact that Brock Lesnar recently just signed a brand new contract with the WWE might give him a little more clout as far as retaining his title?
I think
That
so.
could have been part of the deal.
that might have been part of the deal. Hey, I'll take I'll sign the deal if you don't make me put one over on this chump Roman Reigns.
However, I'm me, so I'm gonna put this twist on it.
Okay, twist it
'Cause
up.
I can see where we're going with.
I know
Brock
you like to
probably
twist
winning.
it up.
Yeah.
So here's where we're going. If I've been watching all these, I always watch the build-up stuff. On Sports Nation,
Yes.
on ESPN, we've seen Roman Reigns on there, and all of a sudden Paul Heyman walks in. Go look it up. Shakes Roman Reigns' hand and said, "I respect you."
Sure, and Paul Heyman has been talking up Roman Reigns really big.
So do you think we're gonna see?
Double cross.
I smell it. I smell it as
There's
well.
also talk of Brock on face.
Possibly a
Yeah.
double cross going here. And California is Brock Lesnar country, folks. I don't know if you heard it on Raw the other night, but whenever Brock Lesnar came out, the last time Brock Lesnar was in the Staples Center, he was destroying John Cena at SummerSlam. And he won over that crowd. And he's won over California in UFC. So ultimately, Brock Lesnar that's his crowd in California, and the WWE is not dumb. They are going to pick up on this, and they do not want their new champion to be booed by 75,000 people,
But then at the
80,000 people.
same time, the new champion could happen, but then there's always option B.
Option B,
Seth Rollins.
Seth Rollins with the Money in the Bank
Because-
contract.
Brock could win, and then here comes Seth.
Yeah.
Right. So, and we were talking about who would be better for Paul Heyman, Seth Rollins or Roman Reigns. Well, that's an obvious choice. It's Roman Reigns because Seth Rollins has already gotten over on his own. He is the biggest heel in the industry right now, and he's done it on his own essentially. Without having a mouthpiece for him.
I'm
so
gonna
to
say
speak.
this, and I'm saying it now. And maybe a couple of years from now, maybe a year from now, maybe a few months from now, y'all want to look back on me and say you were right. Roman Reigns is way better than y'all think.
Oh, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. Roman Reigns is the next big star. However, his moment should have been WrestleMania 34.
Yeah.
In my opinion, or WrestleMania 33 even. It's a little too soon for the guy. They're pushing him down people's throats,
not his
and people
fault.
will resent him for
And
that.
it's not the company's fault. Daniel Bryan got injured. That's the guy that had the belt, and they had to do a shift.
Sure, and I get that. And Roman Reigns was the next guy in line, but they have to be careful with that.
They have to be
you know,
careful
because
with Brock Lesnar.
they have ruined so many people's careers by pushing
Ladies
them
and
down
gentlemen,
people's throat too fast.
What I would like to let you all know is go look at the history surrounding WrestleMania 20 and see why, although I respect Brock Lesnar for what he's accomplished, you're going to understand why I don't respect Brock Lesnar as far as being in the WWE. Okay?
And many people agree with you, Lawrence, because he's a part-time champion. As WWE fans,
With
we expect our
full-time
championship to be
benefits.
defended every single pay-per-view. And that was part of the championship. Daniel Bryan got stripped because he did not defend the.
When will Daniel Bryan get his rematch?
Exactly,
I got it.
So ultimately, as far as my prediction, I think Roman Reigns is going to win. That's what my brain is telling
what
me.
I want to happen.
I, however, can see. I think WWE's got a few tricks up their
Because
sleeve.
my
There will be some
name
surprises.
is Lawrence Alfred,
Yeah.
and I am here as a representative for the next WWE World Heavyweight Champion,
Roman Empire.
the leader of the Roman Empire, Roman Reigns. Now, you may be looking at me and saying, ugh, but you got to look at something this. All of this is not his fault. Believe that.
I'm Roman Reigns.
If you actually listen to him actually talk, he can talk.
Another
Oh,
caller.
well, we must have lost our caller. Hopefully he was listening. But hello, this is Sports Entertainment Tonight. Was this the last caller that we lost or a new caller?
The caller?
This is the last caller.
Oh, okay. Well,
yes.
I guess we lost you somehow. Well, hopefully you were able to listen to our answer a little bit. But yeah, we've been chiming in on it. And we were just kind of getting down to our predictions. I guess we were talking about it in a roundabout way.
Yes.
But you got Roman Reigns.
with Reigns,
I kind of think it's going to be Roman Reigns. However, I do believe WWE has some trickery up their sleeve. There will be some surprises. Maybe a Seth Rollins cash in. Maybe a turn of some kind. Paul Heyman backstabbing Brock Lesnar. But I think Roman Reigns walks away with
Or
the
do they
belt.
want us to think it's
Okay,
trickery?
Since Daniel Bryan lost twice to Dolph Ziggler, do you think that would turn into a rivalry?
Actually, that's what's being reported right now is that Daniel Bryan is kind of scheduled to win the ladder match, and that's going to lead to a feud between him and Dolph Ziggler.
Okay, but I read online that Sheamus will return and attack Daniel Bryan for championship.
That
Well,
could happen, but I think
There
if
are
Shane-
19 people in the Battle Royal right
Right.
now. There's one spot open, and that spot, whoa, happy birthday. That one spot is actually going to be for Sheamus, and I predict Sheamus to go and win the Battle
and
Royal.
whoever wins the NXT tournament thing, there's a tournament going on in NXT.
Right,
at Access.
but
The
that
winner-
makes 19
right.
spots. So there's one spot open that is going to be a surprise spot, and that spot is most likely going to Sheamus.
That's what we feel.
And between the Battle Royal, I think it's either going to be Sheamus or Ryback.
Yes.
You know, and other than that, everybody else is mid-card job, bottom of the barrel jobbers.
And
at
Miz Dow
WWE.
costs his Miz.
Yeah, and Miz Dow will toss Miz, and you know the crowd will get their pleasement from that. You know, maybe Adrian Neville might. That's my pick for going winning the NXT tournament.
I agree.
Adrian Neville, he's ready for the main roster. You know, but ultimately, we're gonna get into our WrestleMania predictions here momentarily, so you can kind of tune in, and we'll chime in a little more on that.
Okay, now let's get into the Bray Wyatt and Undertaker match.
Ooh, Bray Wyatt versus Undertaker, which we were just, talking about this briefly before.
I think
And
that's the match with the trickery.
well, and who do we have here on the phone? Let's go ahead and get your name.
This is Curtis Charlton.
Mr. Curtis?
Yes, sir.
Hey, okay, Curtis. Well, Curtis, what do you think about the fact that Undertaker has not been on television up to this point? Do you think that has helped the feud or hurt it?
I think he was pretty hurt since he lost last year.
Yeah?
Because I was there in New Orleans for WrestleMania.
It was quite shocking, right?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yes, and ultimately, if you could say that you have a favorite WrestleMania moment, let's get to that. If you could have a favorite WrestleMania moment, what would you say your favorite WrestleMania moment of all time would be? Which, of course, The Undertaker has a lot of them.
John Cena and Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania 23.
Ooh, that was, in my opinion, probably my favorite John Cena WrestleMania match. I thought that was his best match. He brought it that night, and
He did.
and ultimately, I think that was when Cena really went over with the crowd as a superstar.
Right.
Because sure he had beat JBL for the title, but I think that's when he really became the face of the company that night. So that's a good moment. I like that moment. But getting back, I guess, to Bray Wyatt, Undertaker, as far as predictions, that's a really tough one for me because, I think that the Undertaker does kind of need to put over Bray Wyatt. However, I could see the Undertaker possibly, going out on a win, redeeming himself from last year, because it would be tough for him to have 2 losses in a row.
Taker's gonna win, but yet Bray is gonna do something
There'll
where he's
be
gonna solidify
his spot as the face of fear, as he's calling it, in the WWE. But yes, I think that there will be some kind of passing of the torch in one way or another, whether, the Undertaker wins the match or not. I think there will be some kind of passing of the torch or
What you think, Curtis? You think they should have done it last year? That's what I would have
do you
thought.
think that they should have made Undertaker's first loss to Bray Wyatt last year in Bray Wyatt's first WrestleMania, or was Brock Lesnar a good pick?
No, I think John Cena would have been a good pick for beating The Undertaker at WrestleMania.
And they've actually never wrestled at WrestleMania before, and a lot of
I
people
would've-
have suggested that it would be a good match.
But then, could you imagine the crowd reaction if Cena would have beat the Undertaker? Let me tell you where they messed up. WrestleMania 25. Because that's the only person I actually believed in the company that actually could beat the Undertaker at WrestleMania. The only person I actually could
Who,
believe.
John Cena?
Shawn Michaels.
Oh, Shawn Michaels.
That's where they messed up. That's the only person I legitimately could have believed could have beat the Undertaker.
Sure. Well, wasn't that? Well, that one wasn't the retirement match. It was
The one before that.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
the one I was nervous. Oh, he's gonna lose it.
Yeah. yeah.
After that, I was like, yeah, whatever. And then when
Well, he's
Brock
never
won,
gonna lose, right?
And my reaction when Brock won was really.
Well, and for me, it was just because I wasn't that surprised that Brock won. Just because, I mean, like, to me, it almost sold me that Brock might win because they made a T-shirt, Eat, Sleep, Conquer the Streak, you know, and...
They wanted to sell the T-shirt.
Well, maybe that, you know, but that almost made me think, well, if they're marketing it this much, I think that he might break the streak. However, I just thought the match was subpar. It kind of was a letdown.
Well,
and that was because Undertaker had a concussion
Within
throughout
the
the
first-
match.
the first 5 minutes.
Right, you know, and so, but it
hats
struggled
off
as
to
a
him,
match,
he
which
kept
makes
going.
me worry about this match because, you
Well,
know.
I hear his wife's was getting him in shape.
Well, and yeah, I saw a picture of him recently, and he looks in great shape, you know.
Yeah,
and
it's
actually,
fun.
happy birthday, Undertaker! I think today is Undertaker's birthday, and he
Sweet.
turned 50 today.
Well, happy 50th birthday.
true.
50th birthday.
Well, AJ was last week.
So more balloons, please, for the Undertaker. Yeah.
Yeah. Happy 50th
50th.
Undertaker.
Dong.
Dun, 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 dun,
Rest
dun,
in
dun,
peace.
dun, dun, dun. Happy birthday.
No.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't go like that.
Go back to your phone call.
So yes, back to the caller. So Mr. Curtis, yes, is there one match that you are looking forward to the most? How about Triple H and Sting? What do you think about that one?
Well, I think that would be a pretty tough match after 14 years of Sting being waiting to come to WWE.
Sure.
I
Well,
think after that match, Triple H will retire from the ring.
I don't know about Triple H and Sting. Man, he's probably got another. He's got a 1-year deal. You know,
Triple
so.
H is older, but he's still pretty young.
And he wrestles 2 matches a year, you know. So we'll see about Triple H. I still think Triple H has a couple years left in him. However, I think there will be a lot of trickery involved in this one. You know, it's going to be a brawl because these two, you know, I mean, we've got a 50-year-old and I believe in a 54 or something like that, and a 46-year-old. You know, so they're not going to be flying all over the place. It's going to be a brawl.
It's gonna be old
you know,
school.
there's going to be weapons,
Yeah,
I'd
old
imagine. They'll be going all over the stadium and you know fighting all over the place.
It's gonna be a
There's going to be some
California.
surprises, I would
Yeah.
imagine. I think this one is going to be an entertaining match.
Yeah, JJ Security's gonna be there. Maybe Stephanie McMahon.
It'll have a good storyline.
Vince McMahon.
You know, which it's always funny how, you know, it never fails that Triple H gets his singles match at WrestleMania, you know,
Yeah.
but Daniel Bryan, let's toss him in a, you know, 7-man Continental title
Which
match.
I think is a good thing. 'Cause
Which, yes, that's getting to our next one. Segue, Intercontinental title match. What do you think about that? Who's your pick? Mr. Curtis.
I think it's Dean Ambrose.
Okay.
Yeah, that's his
Ooh,
pick too.
I like that one. I like
Yeah.
that. Well, that's who I would like to win. I don't think he's going to win, but
Let me give you the laws analysis.
the law. Okay.
I am all behind Dean Ambrose. I am a Dean Ambrose guy.
Sure.
Here's the deal. I don't want it on him yet. Because I need
But you
to-
want Roman Reigns with the world title.
I'm going to get to that in a
Okay,
few minutes.
okay.
No, there's a reason behind it. Take it off of Brock. I just don't want Brock with the belt.
Okay. Well, Roman Reigns is at least there every week.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay.
Doing matches for house shows.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
And
I'll
make-
take
it's
that.
Also, let me finish my analysis before you start knocking with why I chose.
Okay, you got the anal part right.
We want the belt elevated up and have Dean beat somebody when the belt gets back elevated. We don't want to just put the belt on somebody when the belt's not elevated.
Sure. You want a big
Yeah.
name with the title.
Right. See, it's different for Roman to beat a big name and take the belt. The belt's
Right.
up there already.
And I think that's almost kind of the same philosophy they're going with the
the
U.S.
US
title, you know, and which we'll talk about that one next. But
I
getting
said,
back to the
I'm-
Intercontinental title,
I'm not knocking Dean. I think he deserves to just let's get the
Not
belt
yet.
elevated.
not yet.
Yeah.
It's
Put
not
on Daniel
about him.
Bryan.
It's about the belt.
Right.
It's the belt.
And I think that, you know, Dolph Ziggler and Daniel Bryan going at it for the Intercontinental title, that feud is a moneymaker.
Don't put the belt on Dolph Ziggler because it's a
already been
wasted
champ,
thing.
yeah.
It's Dolph back and forth.
Well,
back
and we don't
forth.
trust Dolph anymore, you know,
So
because
give it to Daniel. 'Cause
we
the
don't
peop-
trust the WWE
The
with
people
Dolph. I
like
guess.
Daniel. Daniel put the
Right.
belt back into workhorse position, and then if Dean,
But before you know it, they'll
Yeah.
have Daniel jobbing with the belt. And,
that,
you know.
but you
I hope it never does.
Right.
elevate the belt.
Yes.
And
No.
And which leads us to the U.S. title match and John Cena against Rusev, which you say you seem to be kind of a John Cena fan. Of course, you have John Cena, you know, fighting for America and redeeming America for all these losses that we've had to, you know, endure to Rusev Rusev Crush America?
Well, yeah, I was thinking that this match should have been a submission match.
A submission match. Ooh, STF versus the Accolade, huh?
Yeah.
Which, whatever happened to the U? The STFU? I mean,
PG.
PG,
Yeah,
huh?
PG.
So it's just shut the F?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that doesn't even make any sense.
You get the point.
Right, okay. Yeah.
Or they want to do like a heel turn for John Cena, but I don't think it's never gonna happen.
Well, and really, I mean, we're going to get to this, just talking about the WrestleMania build-up, but it's just like, oh my gosh, they killed me. Just because John Cena, it's like a couple weeks ago, they kind of teased like a heel turn, I mean, you're never going to get your heel turn, but, he's just like sadistic and like, oh yeah, I'm going to, pitch a little fit and do what I got to do to get my U.S. title match. And then, the next week, he's, back to his old ways.
Wonderful plan, if they're thinking right, could be let everybody think he would never turn heel, and that's when he's gonna do it.
Yeah.
Because everybody is wanting him to do it so bad that they're gonna do it when you're gonna think that he's not gonna do it anymore.
Well, I don't think they would do it with Rusev though, just because what is he gonna do? Like become Russian or something?
It's not gonna happen anytime soon. Or then again, he
If
just won't
anything,
turn heel.
I think John Cena would join the Authority.
Yep.
That would be the only thing I could see Cena becoming heel
I
and
don't
becoming.
Wow.
And being like, the top person in the Authority.
He could be top
just to
person
get.
in the
Well, he would
Authority.
do that just to get back in the title picture.
I don't know.
I mean, and of course, we book here, on Sports Entertainment
Yeah, we
tonight
try
for
to
the
book.
WWE. We probably are
Leave
better
Cena
bookers
where he's at.
than.
He's good.
Or becomes like a
I agree. Leave Cena where he's at. He is perfect in this spot. He was pretty much in this spot last year at WrestleMania. And
That's another thing that gets me. These fans get Cena out of the picture. Cena sucks. He lowers himself down.
he's in the
And
mid card.
they
Yeah,
still
I mean,
whine.
there's nothing to complain about.
yeah.
Like, leave
Which
him
we
alone.
lost our caller again in a few
Yeah,
years,
you don't
but-
have a group work.
Leave him alone.
Well, I mean, you can hang up and listen. That's
I
what
don't
they
care
do
what
on
you say.
talk shows.
I don't care.
so.
I don't care what you say. The man works harder than anybody else in that company.
I mean, I respect Cena.
Thank
I
you.
respect Cena. And if you don't respect Cena, then you should, because
If
I
you
mean,
don't, okay, you don't have to like him as a wrestler.
Yeah.
You don't have to like his gimmick. But if you don't respect the man, why are you watching wrestling?
dude goes and fights injured. He's there
Because
every
your
night for
boys-
the company.
Your boy
You know.
Stone Cold Steve Austin didn't really do any wrestling. He didn't back in the day. WCW stunning Steve, but Stone Cold even said he had his 5 moves: his punches, his kicks, and a stunner. And there was no difference. Now you say, but he had a better character. He had a different era.
Well, of
Yeah.
course.
John Cena's
Absolutely.
restrained because before it became PG, y'all all were on John Cena's bandwagon.
Yeah.
Oh, when it was the
Yeah,
Thugonomics, it was
yeah,
something.
change
No,
new,
game.
I'm
you
just
know.
saying. So don't let's call it like it is, people.
All right. So yeah, we lost a caller. So folks, the line is open. If you want to call in, it's 366-8951. We're talking WrestleMania. If you want to call in, give your favorite WrestleMania moment of all time, which I still haven't given mine. Can I give mine?
Go ahead
Would that
and
be
give your
cool?
moment.
Would that be cool with you guys? All right. For me, it was an ultimate moment. And I would have to. Go back to WrestleMania 6 when pretty much the first time we ever saw Hulk Hogan lose in WrestleMania, on the main event at
Right.
least. And when the Ultimate Warrior, the Intercontinental Champion at the time, beat the World Champion. And, I was a huge Ultimate Warrior fan. And, I mean, I think fans back in the day were typically divided. Either you're a Warrior fan or you're a Hogan fan,
Right.
And then it kind of became WCW or WWE. But for me, that was probably one of my biggest moments. Maybe WrestleMania 14 with Shawn Michaels and Stone Cold, Mike
Stone
Tyson.
Cold.
WrestleMania 13 with Stone Cold and Bret Hart. That was obviously another
the
great
bleeding,
moment.
passing
The
out.
Rock and Hulk Hogan. That was a good moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did
those
you go
are
to
all-
that one?
But
Did you go to that one with Hogan against The Rock?
of course,
Yep.
if it's close, I'm there.
Where was that one in Houston?
Houston.
No, Hogan and The Rock. No, I wasn't at. I was.
Oh,
at
that was at
17.
Hogan and
I was
Austin.
at Austin. I was at
I mean, not
Austin
Hogan and
Rock.
Austin,
Hogan
Austin and
Rock
Rock,
was
right.
in Toronto.
In Toronto, you are correct, sir. Which Hulk Hogan and his Toronto curse, because that was actually where the Ultimate Warrior beat him. And Edge was there as a little kid.
Same spot.
So was Christian.
Same spot.
So was Renee? What's her name? Renee.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about Raw,
girl.
because I had a little bit of beef with the start of Raw and the finish of Raw.
Go ahead on. Let's talk about your beef.
Well,
Yeah.
you know, what time we got? We got plenty of time. So we get Sting opening the show.
Okay.
Exciting, you know?
Yeah.
Hey, Sting, all right. And then, of course, you know, Stephanie comes out, and, you know, Sting can't do anything to, you know, Stephanie. Sting's talking about the WCW war, you know, and this is 13 years ago that this was relevant, you know, the WCW war. Pretty much, you know, so Stephanie tries to slap him, and great, you know, he catches it, and Triple H, you put your hands on my wife, you know. And you're thinking we're about to get, you know, somewhat of a mini payoff, a preview of what we're going to see at WrestleMania. You know, we had predicted here last week on Sports Entertainment Tonight that, you know, Triple H would go over on Sting on this last week's Raw, because, you know, he hasn't gone over on Sting yet, which kind of usually builds suspense somewhat for a match. But yeah, it just did not happen. Pretty much they teased a little fight. Triple H got out his sledgehammer. Sting got his bat. You know, and same thing we've been seeing. Triple H just walks away. We get nothing. Wait for Sunday.
Yeah.
What do y'all think about that?
I'm good with it.
Yeah, it's good build
Because
up.
sometimes not touching works.
And I agree
Yeah,
with
he's
you,
not a fan of
especially
that.
with Sting. You know, I can dig it. I can dig it. You know,
You always done that.
but when it came to our main event of Raw and how Raw closed, give me a little bit more than a tug of war match, please. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, folks, we started the main event of Raw was pretty much Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman coming out to do a promo. It was going to be a so-called face-to-face Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns. Typically, when you hear face-to-face, you know, right before a big pay-per-view,
Oh, man,
you
they
know,
might
it's
fight,
going to be a
or-
brawl. It's going to be a brawl, especially
happy.
when Brock Lesnar is involved.
Keep going.
But instead, all we saw was Paul Heyman sold the match, as he's been doing.
Yeah.
He's been the only one selling the match.
Yeah, one of the best.
You know,
Roman did
and
his
which of
part.
course he even sells Roman Reigns. He puts over Roman Reigns, which
Yep.
could be maybe a little prelude to something. Who knows? You know, but. We see Roman Reigns come out. They're face to face, and then he pretty much snatches the title out of Brock Lesnar's hands. Brock Lesnar's like, "What the hell is this guy doing?" You know, and then pretty much they start playing tug of war into Raw. Cliffhanger, yeah, they did that. You know, but I mean, like, what do you think happened?
I'm happy they didn't touch.
What do you think
I'm
happened
happy they
after
didn't
Raw?
touch. I think they could have gave more words.
Yeah, it gets it built to the pay per view. You'd be like, I'm gonna get WWE Network, or I'm gonna order.
Well, it was definitely a
WrestleMania.
photo op.
Right.
It was
Yeah.
definitely a photo.
I think
op.
that's what they were trying to do. But I'm happy they didn't touch each other
Yeah.
because I want to see it happen at Mania.
Because you
But
know
they
that
could've
Brock
been-
Lesnar's going
I
to beat
wanted
the
to
crap out of him.
see Roman get in the ring,
Suplex after
get in
suplex.
Brock's face, and tell him straight up what he's been saying to Brock,
Right.
Yeah.
himself.
And it seems like he directs everything almost to Paul Heyman or something,
Yeah.
you know, and I don't know.
Because even the week before, he was like, "I don't have a problem with you, Paul Heyman."
But I will give Roman Reigns his props in that he has gotten a lot better on the mic, it appears.
Okay,
You know?
because
It was
they-
that acting,
when
you
they
know,
let him
class.
talk.
Well, and they are letting, exactly. He's not reading
For
scripts
instance,
that are
Bray
written by
Wyatt-
Vince McMahon,
Bray,
you know?
Bray Wyatt doesn't get a script.
Yeah, Bray Wyatt, he pretty much gets open reigns to say what he wants
Exactly.
on 3 segments per show, you know. So, but he's earned that, you know. And a lot of times, you know, I've almost gotten to the point where I get ADD with Bray Wyatt. It's like I can't even tune into everything he's saying like I used
Because
to
it's
be.
repetitive.
It is
Yeah.
a little bit.
I
Did
think
I watch it twice?
I think they needed the Undertaker. I
Possibly.
get what they were trying to do, but I think they needed him.
But I mean, he did do a good job of selling the
he-
match
what he could
with
do.
what he had.
Yeah.
With what he
I
had.
agree.
You know, and you know, I mean, we've kind of briefly gone over the card a little bit, but let's kind of just go over each match in detail a little bit more.
All
You know, because we got a big day on Sunday, guys. But let's start off with the kickoff. We haven't really talked about the kickoff show, But for the second year in a row, we are getting a fatal 4-way tag match on the kickoff show.
This time it's just not elimination.
Come on, where's the inventiveness? Give me a fresh idea, you know? And we get Cesaro and Kidd defending their titles against an injured Usos, or one injured Uso, and then the two worst tag teams in WWE, Los Matadores and The New Day, the worst name of a tag team ever. So Los Matadores, New Day, I just don't get it. You know, maybe they're just trying to have like
Get them on the card.
a multicultural tag team card or something.
Or just have a tag team match for the championship.
And of course, you know, Cesaro and Kidd are gonna go over.
I think so.
Because
I
they're
think
the best
so.
tag team, yeah.
You know, even though
Usos
I
are
could
injured.
see the Usos winning.
They're injured, so I'm like,
I could see the Usos, I mean, the good guys saving the day, you know, but I don't think they're going to have the good guys walk out with every single title.
right. Yes,
You
yeah,
know.
that's exactly, yeah.
And, I mean, if you think Cena's going to win, if
And
you
when
think
the-
Daniel Bryan's going to win, if you think Roman Reigns is going to win, well, then you can almost expect that in the tag match that Cesaro and Kidd will retain.
Okay.
Which, yeah, I am impressed by Cesaro and Kidd. I think that they even had a really good feud going with the Usos. You know, I mean, it was interesting enough. They had some comedy, you know, some awesome matches. I definitely... Is it going to be an elimination match
No,
like
it's
last year?
not elimination.
It's not elimination.
It's not elimination.
Okay. So, yeah, at least that'll make it a little more brief, you know. But Cesaro Kidd, I can see it happening myself. Let's see. Let's go next. We got kind of a tease for the Divas match. AJ and Paige versus the Bellas. We got somewhat of a tease
belt,
this past
just a
week
tag
for the
team.
Fatal 4-Way because we've been saying we want the Fatal 4-Way for the Divas title. You know, but we're not. I don't think we're gonna get it because it appears as of SmackDown that they have talked, they've mended fences, and they're gonna be back on the same page, which means they're gonna lose at WrestleMania to the Bellas.
Yeah.
Would you agree?
I'm agreement with that.
Man, I mean, there will be foul play. There will be foul play, I'm
But
sure.
then again,
Cheating.
You know, maybe like a Bella switch. What do they call that?
will it be a
I
swap?
don't know. Somebody's going to tell, you know, one's bigger than the other, you know.
Yeah.
And back to WrestleMania.
And back to WrestleMania 31.
Yep.
So let's talk Battle Royal.
Yeah, who's in it and who's not?
Who is in it and who is not? Well, let's just give you the list of there's supposed to be 20. Right now we have 19, so we're going to give you those 19 people, which of course one of them is not announced yet. It is going to be the NXT tournament winner, but we'll talk about the NXT tournament that is going to determine that spot. So we have Ryback, Axelmania, Curtis Axel, which by the way, just to talk about him for a side note, there has been talk that Hulk Hogan is going to be there to do a spot with Curtis Axel at some point in the show.
Good for him.
Darren Young and Titus O'Neil of the Primetime Players, millions of dollars. Big Show and Kane, I won't even comment on that.
They'll be
let's see.
there toward the end.
Yeah, they will definitely be there toward the end because they're the representatives of the authority. Then the rest of the card is pretty much all jobbers. Zack Ryder, Adam Rose, Goldust, who was ripped from a feud from his own brother, so we can't explain that one either. Miz and Mizdow, who will most certainly clash in this one. Connor and Victor from the Ascension were recently added. So at this point, I had thought that the Ascension had been struck from the card, struck from the roster, sent back down. But apparently they have risen again, the Ascension. I see what I did there? Yes. So we will see the Ascension. I guess they weren't good enough to be in the tag title match, and New Day was. And Los Matadores was. Okay, we got the NXT tourney winner. We'll talk about that in a second. Fandango, Jack Swagger, Sin Cara, Eric Rowan, and Mark Henry, who is a recent entrant. So that's what we do. So that gives us 19 people. Let's talk about the NXT tournament and the 4 contenders that are involved in that.
All right, now the prediction for the Battle Royal.
Are you watching?
Well, no, let's get all of our members
Oh,
first.
okay,
Let's
okay.
get all of our members.
Okay.
Let's talk NXT tourney to get our 19th member.
All right.
So we are going to have Adrian Neville,
Okay.
who's the former NXT champion. We have Finn Balor, the #1 contender for the NXT championship. Tyler Breeze, the gorgeous one. And Hideo Itami, you know, the former New Japan World Wrestling champion.
The cool thing about this is any of those 4 would work.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
But I'm
I
gonna
agree.
go with Neville, like you said earlier, because he's the guy that's they're ready to bring to the main roster.
He is ready for the main roster. He's been touring with the main roster for the last year.
Same as Zayn too.
Yeah,
But
and
they want to make him Mighty Mouse for his gimmick. You're like,
They didn't confirm it.
yeah.
that would be stupid. And,
Think about it,
I think they should stick with what they got. You know, the man that gravity forgot. But Finn Balor and Hideo Itami, they're too new to the system.
Right.
Let them kind of,
Get used to the way they wrestle.
Tyler Breeze, I think he's pretty much, he'll be on the roster in the next year. You know, I think he'll be on by 2016.
What about Sami Zayn? Sami Zayn's not in the picture.
He'll be on by 2016.
He's gonna get there.
Yeah. But I think
That's a no
Finn
doubt.
Balor and Hideo Itami, I think those are going to be the people, the faces of NXT for the next year. You know, so I think that's going to sell their brand, you know, for about the next year. And, you know, some of the talent, they probably aren't in a hurry really to move up to the main roster. You know, because you see kind of what happened to Adam Rose. You see kind of what happened to the Ascension. You know, you see some of the talent where they move up and it's just like bleh, and they might not have anything for you yet. Xavier Woods is another one. You know, so I mean, and plus in NXT you're kind of given more creative freedom on what you can do. You know, so but ultimately, what do you think, Mark? We both have Adrian Neville. You always say Aaron Neville.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
I don't know much.
Yeah, Adrian Neville.
Adrian Neville.
All right.
Okay. So that leaves us one spot. Which, of course, we were kind of predicting. For me, the top 3 possible choices would be Sheamus, who seems to be the obvious choice because they've been, you know, showing vignettes saying Sheamus is returning. Then there's Bo Dallas, which we have not seen. And then Heath Slater, who has been sprinkled in a match here and there. But he would not be the surprise entrant. Sheamus.
Yeah.
Sheamus.
Yeah, it's not gonna be a legend or anything.
Right, which there was some talk that Sheamus might get put in the Intercontinental title match, but there's no indication of that.
Yeah.
And it's already a crowded match as is. So I see Sheamus going in the Battle Royal. And we kind of talked about our predictions for this earlier on, but let's talk about them again. You know, maybe you hadn't tuned in yet. So what do you got?
Ryback.
Ryback rules.
And that's because they're pushing them like crazy, so they're gonna give it to him.
I would agree with you. And I definitely think he'll be in the top 2. What do you think? Sheamus. For me, I almost think it's going to be Sheamus too because I can see them building toward a Sheamus versus Roman Reigns.
Or it could be Ryback to toss Sheamus out and that cause a feud.
Yeah.
I could definitely see that as well.
Or you
But
could see-
I honestly think those are going to be the last 2 people.
Yeah. I want Big Show because he's the giant also.
Yeah, we'll see about
Yeah.
that. You know, but I definitely think.
Because I think they should have let Big Show win.
Well,
it
because
last
there's
year.
been word that Sheamus, you know, is going to come back as a heel. So, and Ryback is, he's getting over big time. And I've always been a fan of Ryback until they started making him lose on every pay-per-view, you know, and jobbing him out, you know, to everybody. And which I think that was one of the worst booking decisions ever was whenever they had him lose to Mark Henry at WrestleMania 28.
Right.
But anyways,
Well,
so
the agenda.
yeah, that's the Battle Royal. I don't look for anything too exciting on that. You know, other than the fact that, you know, at the ending, you know, it's going to be your typical Battle Royal.
All right.
So moving on to the next match, let's go ahead and go. Well, let me get y'all's opinion on something first. What do y'all think has been the best build out of any of the matches?
This year?
Yes. And I know my answer, and I was kind of setting y'all up for that.
Best
in your opinion, the best build, what match?
Intercontinental.
Intercontinental title, just
Yeah,
all the
Intercontinental.
switching of the titles. That's what Mark said.
Yeah, I
on
said the
his.
same thing.
And SmackDown been showcasing that.
Yeah.
SmackDown has definitely been showcasing the Intercontinental title. For me, almost, I think that they've done the best job with the Orton and Rollins feud.
Yeah.
And I think that they've done a pretty good
Second,
job of the
I
build.
give it second.
Second, yeah. And I would agree with you on the Intercontinental title. Some of it is cheesy. The only thing that I can maybe
Well, it
go
was
against.
cheesy, but you're talking about the build. They put
Right. It was a build.
And it's
At
been a
least
while
it was
since
a
they
build.
had a
Right.
It's been a while since they had a WrestleMania, you know, match for the Intercontinental Championship.
Right. Last year they only had like one title match, you know, at WrestleMania, or 2 title matches, one in the pre-show, one for the main event. You know, but
But they need to build up the, you know, the belt. You know, it's been a while. It's been a lackluster.
yeah, I agree. But yeah, Orton Rollins Intercontinental title, and I think it was good. Other than the fact that Bad News Barrett had to job out to everybody. I hate it when the champion has to job. And hopefully they don't put the champion on Daniel Bryan and then he starts jobbing to everybody.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Yes. But in that match, I think that match is going to steal the show. I think it's probably going to be your match of the night. As far as for wrestling fans and seeing pure wrestling action, that's going to be what to watch.
If you're looking for the wrestling action, you're gonna watch Randy Orton, Seth Rollins. If you're looking for
You're right. You're right. Crazy ladder action, violence, and good stuff like that. Then yes, tune in to the tag team. Not the tag team, Intercontinental title match. And of course, we've kind of made our picks for this. I think Daniel Bryan. If it were my pick, I would choose Dean Ambrose.
I'm with you on that, but I'm gonna go with Daniel Bryan for what's best for business.
What's best for business? I agree. I really wish they had not put Stardust in this match. I wish that he would have gotten his own match with Goldust. Luke Harper. As far as Luke Harper, I think that they've kind of struggled with him since he's been a singles competitor. They put him with the Intercontinental title on him real quick. Then he just lost it back, and they haven't had anything for him since.
That's his job.
Yeah,
He's the prop guy.
Yeah.
I guess kind of.
Do what you gotta do.
But what do y'all think about Luke Harper and Dean Ambrose having the same exact outfit? Do they look like a tag team or what?
No.
I mean, they're both kind of crazy.
No,
I can almost see it one day.
I don't see it.
One day.
I don't see
They're
it.
both crazy.
They're both crazy, but two different kind of crazies.
Yeah, but they had the same exact outfit. They need to do something about that.
Yeah.
It's a gray wife beater with blue jeans.
Yeah.
Exact same.
But you get my point.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they didn't. Come on, costuming department at WWE. You can change it up a little bit, huh? I mean, Dean Ambrose has the black wife beater. We can sport that one.
Yeah.
I mean, I hate to split hairs here.
I'll go back to his, trunks.
Yeah, I'm a proponent for them going back to their NXT gear. I think to a certain degree, one of the main reasons Roman Reigns hasn't gotten over as much as Ambrose and Rollins is that he pretty much still uses the Shield music. He still has his Shield gear on.
'Cause he was the
He
beast
still
of the
talks
Shield.
about the Shield. He pretty much is the beast of the Shield.
beast of the Shield.
And
Yeah.
but Seth Rollins, he's had character development. He's moved on. Dean
So-
Ambrose, he's had character development. He's got different outfit. He's got different music. He's his own
Keep your
individual
music,
person.
change the
Well,
look.
Roman Reigns is still the Shield.
Keep
He's
the
just the
music.
Shield
He is the
by
Shield.
himself.
Yeah.
Believe that.
Same music. He still walks through the crowd. Same outfit.
He can keep the walk to the crowd. That's a selling point. Can keep your music. It's recognized. Change the look.
It's stale.
Change the look.
A little stale.
Change the look.
He needs to.
Dong.
He needs to take.
We get the dong every year, and
He needs to
he
take the
just
vest off.
changes. He just changes the look. Just
I'm
change
sorry,
the
Roman
look.
Reigns. Please the women out there,
Shawn Michaels,
take the
sexy
vest
boy
off.
for his
Yeah.
whole life.
Take
He
the
just
vest
changed
off.
the look.
You look stupid in the
Keep
vest.
your music. It's over. The music is over.
The
Like
music.
this is-
I'll take the music. I like the music, but take the stupid
Be like a
vest off.
gladiator or
Change
be,
the look.
Hey, you could dress up as a gladiator, or you could be like
That would be
some-
stupid.
Yeah, or
No, that's the problem.
Put him some
You
wrestling
don't want him
trunks.
too gimmicky.
Put him some wrestling trunks on.
NXT.
Yeah, his NXT uniform.
Right.
And if you haven't seen him in his NXT uniform, he looks like a wrestler. So go Google the images.
FCW.
Yeah.
Whatever.
But yeah, talking about ring gear, and that was one of the things I had on my list. Harper and Ambrose with the same outfit. Okay, moving on. Let's talk about that Randy Orton and Seth Rollins match. It's had a pretty good build, other than the Randy Orton not knowing whether he's a heel, coming back, with a huge pop.
We
And
knew what he was. We just
all
said
right, yeah, we knew what
Yeah.
it was.
Seth Rollins over.
Yep. He's the best heel right now.
Seth Rollins is probably my favorite person in the company right now.
He's going to go over.
He's super Seth. Okay, great. Well, we've just been told that we have about a minute left of our WrestleMania build-up. So let's kind of fly through the card real quick. Lesnar versus Reigns. I think we all got Roman Reigns pretty much, but there's going to be some foul play. Triple H versus Sting. Duh, it's going to be Sting. But it's going to be an exciting match,
Or
folks.
Triple H might win because everybody thinks it's Sting.
Possibly
I'm going with
so.
Sting.
It
I'm
is
a Sting.
it is
I'm
the
going with
game.
Sting. I'm going with Sting.
Randy Orton against Seth Rollins.
And that's probably why he never got time.
Seth Rollins, I'm thinking with some foul play.
Seth's winning.
Seth wins
J&J's,
with some foul play. J&J maybe helps out. Intercontinental title, we're all kind of thinking Daniel Bryan.
Yeah, workhorse.
Even though we would like to see Dean Ambrose. Tag team titles, we all kind of are thinking Cesaro
Tyson,
and Kid.
Cesaro.
Possibly Usos, you never know. Undertaker versus Bray Wyatt. I'm kind of
I'm going with
50-50
Taker.
on
I'm
that
going
one.
with
You're going
Taker.
with Taker.
I'm gonna make
I'm
it
going
official.
with Wyatt.
Wyatt. Pass the
Alright.
torch.
Okay, AJ and Paige versus
don't have to
Bellas.
win to pass
That
the
one's
torch.
kind of a duh. I got the Bellas, with
Cheating.
some foul play, obviously.
Right. I'm going-
Rusev versus Cena.
Cena.
Ooh, that's a tough one. Cena.
Rusev.
I'd say, ooh, that's a tough one. Cena. I've been saying since the beginning that Rusev's first loss is going to be to
And
Cena,
like you said,
probably
you're
at
talking about
WrestleMania.
passing the torch, but I'm gonna get this straight. You don't have to pass the torch to win or lose.
Yeah.
Tonight, 10:30, Jimmy Kimmel, John Cena, The Soup, 9 o'clock on E, WWE Superstars,
Free
Friday,
plugs for WWE all the time.
and all that good stuff.
Sports entertainment tonight,
Night.
folks. We love you. My name is Nick Fuquay, Mark Trahan, Lawrence Alfred. Peace
WrestleMania,
out.
Hall of Fame, don't
WrestleMania
forget.
Sunday, 4 to 10, whatever it is.
Yes.
Tune in because you know you love it. You know you love it. Peace out, y'all.
Yep.